Welcome. I'm glad that you joined me today. So every experience begins with a thought, and our experience changes when we change that thought. So in this series, we will focus on the thoughts and emotions relating to special meridian points located along the sides of the spine and corresponding to the vertebrae. They are called the Huatuojiaji points. And each point connects to specific areas of your body and nervous system. We will begin working on opening the Huatuojiaji points along the spine to increase qi flow and activation of the nervous system so that your body has access to the life force energy and the information that it needs to heal itself. I will help you do this through Qigong healing and the use of forgiveness and affirmations. T1 becomes blocked when life is feared and there's too much to cope with. A person blocks the flow of life by closing themselves off from life's experiences and refusing to receive the joys gifted. This happens as a coping method or trauma response when emotional pain is unresolved. And it can inhibit the flow of the heart chakra and our ability to receive the goodness that life has to offer. So by clearing the stagnant energy in each point and infusing it with life force energy, your body will have what it needs to correct and harmonize any dysfunction that has accumulated over the years. Life happens, and whether we choose it or not, it can have a great impact on how we live our lives and view our lives. We will identify areas where the energy is inflamed, stuck, stagnant, and refusing to flow because of old beliefs of dependence, controlling experiences, shame and humiliations, fears, stories, people, lifestyles, attitudes, and demands. We will focus on beliefs that your mind is ready to embrace or release, where it is ready for change, progress, and transformation. Embrace these thoughts. Feel them deep within your body, your mind, and your soul, and allow them to penetrate deep into your heart. Because you are absolutely worthy of every virtue, and you are worthy of every life-giving belief. As you hear these statements and let them into your heart, they will transform you gently, profoundly, and bring greater and higher good to your life. So take a deep breath, and we will start. First, let us tap on the top of the head to open the governing vessel 20 meridian point. As you do this, take 3 deep breaths, and you can use both hands and just tap all over the top of your head. Very good. Now let's place your hand on your chest, touching the 2 fear points with your thumb and index finger. The spots may be tender, so hold your hand there. You may massage the points if they are tender. The important thing is supporting those points with your energy through the palm of your hand, or you can hold your hands in prayer position at your heart space. This is particularly effective if you are holding rare earth magnets with the south pole facing your right hand, or you can use a piece of quartz crystal, jade, or selenite. Imagine looking into a mirror and looking into your eyes and talking directly into your soul. In this moment, speak this maxim to yourself with the care and compassion that you would give to the most apprehensive of beings. So repeat after me. Take kindness and benevolence as basis. Take frankness and friendliness to heart. Speak with reason. Treat with courtesy. Act with emotion. and accomplish results. Let's say this one more time. This time we'll speak it into the T1 vertebrae, increasing the life force with honest kindness and respect for its importance and its place and function. So take kindness and benevolence as basis. Take frankness and friendliness to heart. Speak with reason, treat with courtesy, act with emotion, and accomplish results. We will breathe after each statement, consciously creating new pathways of response and allowing the energy to freely and lovingly flow. So carefully listen to each statement and try to repeat after me in your mind. Take a deep breath and release what no longer serves you. I give myself permission to bring up and address the unconscious beliefs that have kept me stuck in patterns of response that bring harm to myself and to others. Breathe. I give myself permission to forgive the people and institutions that have influenced my beliefs when they have encouraged distorted ideas, even when they believed it was good. Breathe. I forgive those in my life experiences so far who intentionally or unintentionally caused me harm because of their own broken and distorted interpretations of life. Breathe. I forgive myself for my incorrect interpretation of the love and care offered to me by those who truly wanted to show love. Breathe. I ask others to forgive me when I have hurt or caused harm because of my mistaken interpretation of reality. Breathe. I forgive myself for any resistance I have towards embracing all that is good, lovely, and precious. Breathe. I forgive myself for believing that miraculous transformation, healing, change, and opportunities only happen after long toiling effort, self-degradation, or that they don't happen for me. Breathe. I embrace all opportunities, gifts, and love that flow to me without hesitation or skepticism, but with thankfulness and gratitudes. Breathe. I give myself permission to surrender and allow for the highest and greatest good to come to me, transform me, and remake me. Breathe. I forgive myself for distorting my alignment with myself, with the great creator, and with great nature, because I do not know my true self. Breathe. I give myself permission to accept my true self and clear the blockages that keep me distorted in my physical health, my emotional health, my social health, and my spiritual health. Breathe. I give myself permission to take responsibility for whatever comes into my presence with gratitude and calmness. Breathe. I forgive myself for knowingly or unknowingly creating the emotional and physical patterns that block my flow and connection to myself, heaven, earth, or humanity. Breathe. I give myself permission to grow and evolve by giving up the stories of the past so that the universe can write new ones. Breathe. I love and accept myself now as I begin to understand and accept the corrections to any false programming and beliefs I might have received as a child. Breathe. I love and accept myself as I align myself to think and feel in the way the universe thinks and feels, accepting the miracles that flow through me, around me, above me, and below me. Breathe. I love and accept that the universe is highly flexible, and I can be too. Because when I am flexible, which is in harmony with the universe, I am open to the infinite possibilities, and then the possibilities appear. Breathe. I forgive myself for whatever is in me that has misaligned me with myself and the universe. I forgive myself for believing that it is impossible to feel well-structured and balanced. Breathe. I forgive myself for failing to love and support myself on the deepest levels. Breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I need others to support and care for me. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that it is impossible for me to do this on my own. And breathe. I forgive myself for rejecting the divine spirit as the structure of my life. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I cannot feel safe and loved and totally supported on my own and by myself. And breathe. I forgive myself for refusing to see the other sides of any question. And breathe. I forgive myself for being stubborn and inflexible. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that there is just one side to an issue. Breathe. I forgive myself for believing that there are limited ways of doing things and seeing things. Breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I cannot be safe. Breathe. I forgive myself for smothering love that comes to me. And breathe. forgive myself for my inability to breathe for myself. And breathe. I forgive myself for feeling stifled and constrained when I don't get my way. And breathe. I forgive myself for suppressing the anguish and tears inside of me. And breathe. I forgive myself for failing to take charge of my own life. And breathe. I forgive myself for choosing to be controlled by others rather than choosing freedom for my own decisions. Breathe. I forgive myself for complaining about the world and barking at it ferociously. Breathe. I forgive myself for believing no one sees the true me. Breathe. I forgive myself for believing that no one listens to me. Breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I cannot be happy unless people pay attention to me. Breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I need others at all times to validate my existence and worth by paying attention to me. Breathe. I forgive myself for believing I can't love myself unless someone else gives me permission by loving me first. Breathe. I forgive myself for believing I have to be noticed and appreciated by others in order to feel happy. Breathe. I forgive myself for believing that nobody loves me. Breathe. I forgive myself for being afraid and not trusting the process of life. Breathe. I forgive myself for getting stuck in childhood and past thinking. Breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I have to stay stuck in childhood until the past is resolved. Breathe. I forgive myself for believing that it is not safe to grow up. Breathe. I forgive myself for believing the world is not safe and it is out to get me. Breathe. I forgive myself for being afraid and refusing to take life in fully. I forgive myself for believing that I do not have the right to take up space or even exist. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that it is impossible to truly love life. Breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I'm not worth loving. Breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I don't have the capacity and ability to hold the experiences of life. Breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I have to clutch and grasp at life, never letting go of my experiences, even if they cause me or others pain and anguish. Breathe. I forgive myself for believing that life is supposed to be hard and a trial of pain. Breathe. I forgive myself for not choosing to handle all of my experiences with love and with joy and with ease. Breathe. I forgive myself for failing to carry my experiences in life joyously. And breathe. I forgive myself for making life a burden by my attitude. And breathe. I forgive myself for turning small hidden fears into impossible mountains. Breathe. I forgive myself for allowing fear to dictate my life. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that life is meant to be a struggle, and if I don't struggle, then I will not be loved. And breathe. I forgive myself for holding on to guilt and secrets. And breathe. I forgive myself for always seeking punishment for my life existence. Breathe. I forgive myself for believing that I must always hold on to the past. Breathe. I forgive myself for holding others captive to their behaviors of the past as an excuse to keep the past relevant to now. And breathe. I forgive myself for holding on to deep hurts and long-standing resentments in order to punish others. And breathe. I forgive myself for holding on to deep secrets that eat away at me where no one else can see. And breathe. I forgive myself for carrying hatred until it kills me. And breathe. I forgive myself for giving up on life itself. And breathe. I forgive myself for failing to fill my daily life with joy. And breathe. I forgive myself for believing that it is someone else's responsibility to fill my life with joy. And breathe. I forgive myself for hating and rejecting myself. Breathe. I give myself permission to call up and transform, transmute, release and remove all rejection of wisdom, refusal to know or understand, indecision, resentment and blame, misalignment with life, and denial of my spiritual self, for the highest and greatest good of myself and others. Breathe. I now give myself permission to unblock both sides of the Huatuo points of T1, opening and activating the flow of qi and information through T1, communicating freely with all parts of my body, mind, and spirit, and raising the quality of my thoughts. Breathe. I give myself permission to see the past, present, and future clearly and honestly. Breathe. I give myself permission to take responsibility for every aspect of creating the life that supports me and that I love. And breathe. I give myself permission to gain wisdom through joyfully accepting the experiences of life in all their diversity. And breathe. I give myself permission to release all that keeps me from seeing and hearing the truth. Breathe. Without fear of life, too much to cope with that I can't handle it, and closing off from life, I am free to align my life with my spiritual self and the energies of the universe. And breathe. When I am aligned with truth and love, I am free to be well structured and balanced. And breathe. I am free to be safe and loved and totally supported. Breathe. I am free to be flexible so that I see all sides of an issue with ease. And breathe. I am free to discover endless ways of doing things and seeing things. Breathe. I am free to be safe. Breathe. I am free to take charge of my own life. And breathe. I am free to be noticed and appreciated in the most positive and loving ways. Breathe. I am free to be loved. Breathe. I am free to safely grow up to my current age. Breathe. I am free to experience the world as safe. And breathe. I am free to love life. And breathe. I am free to live life fully and freely. It is my birthright. And breathe. I am free to choose to live life fully. And breathe. I am free to lovingly hold and embrace my experiences with ease and joy. Breathe. I am free to choose to handle all my experiences with love and with joy and with ease. Breathe. I am free to choose to allow my experiences to be joyous and loving. Breathe. I am free to bring peace to every corner of my life. And breathe. And I am free to let others be free also. Breathe. I am free to love and approve of myself. And breathe. I am free to have the power, strength, and knowledge to handle everything in my life perfectly aligned and supported in all things. And breathe. With the power of my divine consciousness, I now create connection and harmony with all things in myself and in my world in a way that inspires kindness, friendliness, honesty, and goodwill, flowing genuine love and sincere compassion to all that is in my range of influence, freely offering connection from the brightest place of my heart. Take a long, deep breath and release all that does not align with truth and love. Continue to focus on your breathing as I leave this blessing with you. May you recognize in your life the presence, power, and light of your soul. May you realize that you are never alone, that your soul and its brightness and belonging connects you intimately with the rhythm of the universe. May you have the respect for your own individuality and difference. And may you realize that the shape of your soul is unique, that you have a special destiny here, and that behind the facade of your life, there is something beautiful, good, and eternal happening. May you learn to see yourself with the same delight, pride, and expectation with which God sees you in every moment. You are now creating new alignments, stronger and more powerful beliefs, letting go of the stories of the past and creating new supportive and harmonious ones to manifest the peace, happiness, and calm that is divinely gifted to you at all times. So smile and embrace the universe as you start making a positive difference in your world. Thank you.